So, Dave, talk about your like the first Filipino actor to be in a James Bond movie.
Am
How
I?
exciting is that?
Well, man, that's a little pressure now. Am I really? I keep hearing that I'm the first Filipino to do this and the first Filipino. It feels good, but it feels kind of weird at the same time. It feels like there's a little bit of pressure on. Like I really need to perform. No, but it's cool. It's even more cool now that you put it that way. I like breaking barriers. I like
How did you get the part?
I auditioned for it.
With Sam?
Yeah. I auditioned. I did a video audition. My agent called me up and said, "Hey, how would you feel about being a part of a Bond film?" And I won't tell you what I said, but I was very excited. I was very excited. So he said, "Well, this is what you need to do," and they sent me some sides to recreate the scene from Casino Royale, and I did. I auditioned for it, and at first I didn't. I tried to recreate the scene. I just didn't feel right. I called my acting coach and said, "This doesn't feel right." He said, "Well, are you trying to imitate the actor who did it?" And I said, "Yeah, I think I am." Well, just do it like yourself. So I did it like myself, and it was completely different, and sent it off. And I was told over about a month that Sam kept looking at it, and he kept looking at it, and finally they called and said, "Well, Sam really likes your audition tape, but he'd like to meet you." So he flew me over to London. I met with him, and we got along really well. And he gave me the job.
Wow, so happy. And you're playing the villain here, or one of the villains.
It's all perspective, man. Like the way I look at it is Hinks is the hero of the film, and it's all it's all a perspective thing. But yeah, I guess I would be the villain. I guess if you had to put a label. But it definitely, yeah.
When was the last time you were in the Philippines?
It's been a long time. It's been a long time now. It's been years now. It's been too long. I actually was going to go over last year because I have a very close friend named Nonito Donaire.
Yes, everybody knows him.
Everybody knows the Flash. But he's a very close friend of mine, and he was overtrained, and I wanted to go over with him, but because of the Bond schedule, I just couldn't. So I'm due back for a trip because I really love it there.
What do you usually do when you go there?
Eat.
What kind of food? Like
Filipino food. And I think
adobo?
Adobo is always my favorite. Pancit is always my favorite. The breakfast in longanisa, and I just love it. But usually, if I think for some reason when I get there, because everybody wants to cater, and they know I love Filipino food, and I always talk about Filipino because it's not there's not many Filipino restaurants. So
Yes.
especially there's Tampa, there's not one. So I cook for myself at home. But I think for some reason, everybody feels that they want to feed me and they want to make me feel welcome, so I just eat so much mango and everything, man.
Yeah, and do you still have the tattoos of the Filipino flag?
Yeah, I have two actually. I have this one that most people don't know. This, that one. Those are my stars here. And here's the red and blue here. And then I have this one here.
When did you have those done?
I had this one done about maybe 2005, 2004, 2005, sometime around then, I think. And this one, a couple years ago, maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I've had it for a while. This is Manny Pacquiao.
Ah, so have you met Manny?
Yeah.
And
I
how
walked
was
with
that?
Manny to the ring on the Ricky Hatton fight.
And you're also like a mixed artist, martial arts.
Yeah.
So do you do arnis?
Yeah, well, I've done Kali for years and years. I've done it for a long time now. Yeah.
And you have a Filipino trainer?
A guy named Ray Dionaldo. Ray
Yeah.
Dionaldo. Yeah, he trains under a Filipino combat system.
Yes.
Yeah.
So is it harder than wrestling?
Kali?
Yeah?
Well, it's more dangerous. Yeah, everything's it's all relative. Everything's dangerous depending on what you're doing and how you're doing it and who you're doing it with.
Were there any regrets leaving wrestling for acting?
No.
No. What is it in acting that you enjoy doing?
Well, it's just challenging, and I think it's all. I think in my heart I'm just an entertainer, and it's just a new type of entertainment that I haven't perfected, and I probably never will. But there's just that desire in me to just want to perfect it. Wanting to be a better actor. So I think it's just a new challenge in my life. It's my new passion in life, and I just really have fallen in love with it. And I think also because I'm just such a fan of movies, films. I think I just love being a part of it. I love being a part of this world. I think, it's. I want to go from being in front of the camera to being behind the camera. That's my ultimate goal. So I think this is going to be what I'll be doing for the rest of my life.
Did you ever imagine these things happening to you, being in a Bond movie, working with Daniel Craig? Or
Not in a million years. But I always go back to even my first world title with the WWE. Just never in a million years did I ever think that was going to happen. I don't think I ever looked down the road and said, that's my ultimate goal. Like I never set out to be a movie star. Like I never once thought, still to this day, I don't think that I don't want to be a movie star. I want to be an actor. And that's always the way I looked at things, even with wrestling. I don't want to be a world champion. I want to be a wrestler. But then when it happened, it was like, it's unbelievable. And it's the same with this. You know, I didn't set out to accomplish this. I just set out to, you know, be an actor, and it's just been very fortunate. You know?
So how was it working with Daniel?
It was great.
What did you find out about him?
He's a lot more down to earth than I thought he was going to be. You know, I didn't know, because he's been a movie star for a long time. You know, everybody knows who Daniel is, and you know, being James Bond just put him on a different level. You know, it's a different standard. So I didn't know what to expect from him, but he was actually, you know, he's a rugged guy, which is why I loved him as Bond, which is why I became a fan, because I believed in him. He just to me, he looks like he's been in a fight. He looks like he's had a few drinks. There's something believable about him. And it's the same when he came in to train and work on the fight scene and stuff. He just put in hard work. He wasn't afraid to sweat. He wasn't afraid to get beaten up a little bit. So it made me not only just respect him as an actor, but respect him as a person. You know, you really get to know somebody in those kind of conditions. So it was just, yeah, it was a joy.
What was the most challenging part for you to do in this movie?
I think, you know, logistically it was just a bit challenging because it was just so much bigger than what I've ever experienced. It was just with the moving around from country to country. I've just never done anything like that. The character itself was, you know, he wasn't extremely rough to play because I felt comfortable in the character, but I also felt very comfortable with Sam Mendes. You know, I feel comfortable. He makes you feel comfortable. He's such a soothing person. He's just got such a calm demeanor about him, and he's very precise in what he wants, and he doesn't like push it. He explains it very slowly and very pleasantly of what he wants and what he's looking for, and it just makes you feel like it's kind of no pressure, you know. So it was more enjoyable than it was challenging. You know, I never looked at it as, God, this is so challenging. I looked at it like, God, this is so much fun.
Knowing your roots, coming from poverty and everything, and you're like a role model for a lot of, you know, Filipinos and young actors. So what would you say would you advise them, those who are looking up to you?
I always, you know, what I tell people is, for one, I tell them to chase their dreams. And I just tell people, and I guess it sounds easy, like an easy thing to do, but at the end of the day, it really is, it's hard, but don't be afraid of failing. Because everybody's so afraid of failing that a lot of times they just don't even try. But if you know, like, failure is it's not going to be the worst thing that's ever going to happen to you. So there's no reason to be afraid of it, because if you don't at least attempt something that you're afraid of you might fail at, then you're never going to achieve anything. Yeah. So if you dream to do that, but you don't chase it because you're afraid you're going to fail, then how are you going to actually achieve it? You just can't. You can't. So you have to be willing to fail, and you have to be not afraid to fail. You know.
Did you have a person who inspired you to be like who you are today?
I never really thought about that. I just, I think it was, I don't know. I think I just always had kind of a work ethic. You know, it was probably instilled for me from my family and becoming, you know, from being, you know, poor. But I don't know if there was one person who I thought, God, I want to be like that guy. There was when I was older, but it was after I was already developed as a person. Now there's people I can relate to, like Lou Gehrig is my ultimate hero, and I can relate to him. I love him, and he's like the man that I would aspire to be like. But it didn't get me to where I am now. So I don't know if it was. I think it was just more of me just having such a strong work ethic and really just not being afraid to fail.
When you went to the Philippines, you told us one time a story where it was so emotional for you to see all these people crying in the front row when you did. Can you tell us about it?
It still is. It's and I think that's it's an emotional thing when you get people who are looking at you as an inspiration, you know, because you don't, like, internally I don't feel like an inspiration, but when people look at you like that, it's just very humbling. It's very emotional, you know. And I'm glad that I can be that person, but at the same time, sometimes I feel like, man, do I deserve to be somebody's inspiration just because I'm chasing my dreams, pursuing my dreams? You know, and I don't know. You know, but sometimes it's like one of those things. Like, I'm really not worthy of this. You know, so it's a little uncomfortable at the same time. It's so humbling. You know.
Well, we look forward to your next visit to the Philippines.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you
It'll
very
happen.
much.